dignity, it's crucial to understand that every person, no matter their status, abilities, or background, is made in the image of God. As Genesis 1:27 tells us, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he, and male and female created he them. This alone gives every person inherent dignity and worth. When we recognize this in others, we not only affirm their value, but also remind ourselves of the interconnectedness we share as beings made in God's likeness. A society that fails to recognize the dignity of others is a society that slips into moral decay. When dignity is disregarded, hatred and barriers take its place. People become disposable, interactions become transactional, and relationships become hollow. Dignity, however, elevates our interactions. It allows us to treat others not as mere objects or means to an end, but as individuals with unique worth, capable of giving and receiving love. It's significant that restoring the dignity of others also elevates our own existence. When we treat someone with kindness, respect, and empathy, we're not just giving them something, we're participating in a greater good that lifts us both. Philippians 2:3-4 echoes this sentiment: let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. To restore dignity is to step outside of our selfish ambitions and look to the well-being of those around us. In doing so, we enrich not only their lives, but also our own. When it comes to empathy, the discussion turned to how it differs from mere sympathy or superficial comfort. True empathy does not require grand speeches or perfect words. True comfort comes not from many words, but from simple, yet profound actions: a deep sigh of empathy, a warm gaze filled with soul, and the act of listening with your whole being. This is an incredibly powerful reflection on how we connect with others on a deeper level. Empathy is the ability to feel with someone rather than just feel for them. It's about stepping into another person's emotional world and validating their experience without immediately trying to fix it or make it more comfortable for yourself. This mirrors the way Christ interacted with people in his ministry. In John 11:35, we see Jesus weeping with Mary and Martha over the death of Lazarus. Even though he knew he would raise Lazarus from the dead, Jesus took the time to grieve with them, to share in their sorrow. This act of empathy affirmed their pain and showed his deep love for them. The Bible consistently calls us to this kind of empathy in our relationships with others. Romans 12:15 encourages us to rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep. This is not a call to rush in with solutions or to minimize someone's struggles, but to be present with them in their joys and their sorrows. When we offer this kind of empathy, we restore the dignity of those who feel overlooked, misunderstood, or marginalized. In light of everything discussed, it's clear that trust and empathy also apply to our relationship with God. God, in his unchanging nature, is always trustworthy. As Hebrews 13:8 reminds us, Jesus Christ the same yesterday and today and forever. His character does not waver, even when his decisions change according to his perfect wisdom. Our trust in him is never misplaced, because his nature is good and just. Even when we don't understand his plans or the reasons behind them, we know that his goodness and love for us are unwavering. At the same time, God calls us into a relationship where empathy flows both ways. He empathizes with our weaknesses, Hebrews 4:15, and we are called to seek after his heart, trusting that he hears us and knows our every need. This relationship of trust and understanding deepens as we spend time with him, pouring out our hearts in prayer and listening for his guidance. Dignity and empathy are essential for building relationships that mirror the love of God. Whether it's our relationship with others or with God himself, These virtues are the pillars that sustain and strengthen every bond. Trust gives us the foundation. Dignity affirms our worth. And empathy allows us to connect on a deeper level. These are not just abstract concepts, they are lived realities that we must continually practice. When we trust God fully, when we restore the dignity of others, and when we empathize with both their joys and their sorrows, we reflect the very character of Christ and fulfill his command to love one another. Let us therefore seek to cultivate these qualities in our daily lives, knowing that they not only elevate those around us, but also bring us closer to the heart of God. Dignity and compassion. In every soul, a spark divine, a light of worth by God's design. No one too small, no heart too weak. For dignity is what we seek. The smile can lift, a word can heal, a hand outstretched makes kindness real. For empathy, not grand nor loud, is whispered, soft, not lost in crowd. It's in the gaze that meets the eye, the quiet tear, the shared sigh, when burdens heavy bend the knee. True love says lean and lean on me, to see the other as they are, not as distant, cold, or far, but bearing value deep and wide. The treasure found, not cast aside, compassion calls with tender grace, to sit beside, to take a place, not just to speak, but there to stay, and walk with them along the way. For dignity is not a prize, it's God's own gift in every life. And empathy, a sacred art, a bridge between one heart and heart. So let us go with open hands to meet the world with love's commands, to lift the fallen, wipe the tear, to make each soul feel held and near. In dignity, let mercy shine in every act through heart and mind. For what we give, we too shall gain, restoring hope, removing pain.